Now I am explaining hydrophily, pollination by water. Transfer of pollen grain through water is known as hydrophily. Hydrophilous flowers are generally pollinated by water. These flowers are small in size, unclear and light in weight. Flowers do not have nectar and odor. The pollen grains of these flowers are unwettable and covered by a mucilaginous layer. Stigma of these flowers is long, sticky and unwettable. All aquatic plants are not pollinated by water. Many of the hydrophytes are pollinated through wind as in Myrophyllum, Potamogeton, etc. and by insect as in Nymphia alisma. It is not very common as it is found in 30 genera only, mostly monocots. Aquatic plants make excellent use of water for pollination. Plants like Hydrilla, Zostera, Vallisneria, etc., whose flowers are permanently submerged in water, are adapted to pollination by water. Hydrophily is of two types. Number 1, hypohydrophily. Such type of pollination takes place inside water. Example, Najas, Zostera, Ceratophyllum. The stigma is very long in this plant. The pollen grain float in water and come in contact with the stigma. It is found in submerged plants like Zostera. In Ceratophyllum, stamens are detached from the flower and float upward. The anther rupture during their upward course and pollen grains are liberated. These pollens are trapped by the sticky lower surface of the style which serve as stigma. In Zostera marina, pollen grains are needle-like and when they reach the stigma, they coil around it. Second one, epihydrophily. When pollination of flower occur at the surface of water, it is called epihydrophily. I am repeating, the best example of this type is exhibited by Vallisneria spiralis. It is a submerged dioecious plant. Male flowers are detached from the plant and float on the surface of water. The female flower has a long stalk so that it projects on the surface of water. The male flower come in contact with the female flower to release pollen grain on the stigma. Vallisneria spiralis means ribbon weed is the best known example of epihydrophily. As I told you, it is a dioecious species with both male and female flowers submerged. The male flower breaks away and float on the surface of water. The female flower on maturity is raised to the surface of water by the long spiral stalk. Free floating male flower get locked on the female flower, bringing upon open anther in contact with the stigma. After pollination, the female flower is withdrawn inside the water by coiling of the stalk where development of fruit takes place. In another group of water pollinated plants such as seagrass, female flower remains submerged in water and the pollen grains are released inside the water. In many such species, pollen grains are long, ribbon-like, and they are carried passively inside the water. Some of them reach the stigma and achieve pollination. In most of the water pollinated species, pollen grains are protected from wetting by a mucilaginous covering. Now I am giving difference between wind and insect pollinated flower. Wind pollinated flower produce enormous amount of pollen because there is a great wastage, while insect pollinated flower produce a small amount of pollen as process is mechanically more precise. Wind pollinated flower pollen grains are small, light and smooth, but in insect pollinated flower pollen grain larger and heavier with projections. Wind pollination often occurs in plants which grow in groups. Insect pollination occurs in plants which grow mostly individually. Wind pollinated flower unisexual, usually with the excess of male flower, while insect pollinated flowers are mostly bisexual. Wind pollinated flowers dull, scentless and nectarless, while insect pollinated flower bright, scented with nectar. In wind pollinated flower, stigma long, often feathery or adhesive and produce above petals, while insect pollinated flower, stigma often small, deep in corolla. Wind pollinated flowers have stamen long and produce above petals. Insect pollinated flowers have stamen often confined with corolla. Examples of wind pollinated flowers are grasses, willow, plantago, while examples of insect pollinated flowers are Arthenium, buttercup means ranunculus, and clover means trifolium. Now I am explaining ornithophily. The ornithophilous pollination is performed through the agency of birds. Pollinating birds have long beak and those are larger than the length of corolla tube. A very striking example is of hummingbird which are found in American continents. These birds do not sit on the flower or their support shoot but instead hover over the flowers and bring about pollination with the help of long beaks. The configuration of ornithophilous flowers may be tubular, example Nicotiana gallica, cup-shaped, example Calstemon, or urn-shaped, member of Ericaceae. Bird pollinated flowers are of white, bright color, producing large amount of pollen with plenty of nectar. Additionally, the bird have a powerful vision to recognize the color of flowers they prefer. The example of ornithophilous flower other than are include bombax, red silk cotton, bignonia, salmelia, begonia, butea, etc. So what is ornithophily? Ornithophily means pollination by birds. Transfer of pollen grains by bird is known as ornithophily. Some small birds like hummingbird, sunbird and honey thrushes regularly visit flower of silk cotton tree means bombax species, coral tree example erythrina, bottle brush example callistemon, rose apple that is syzygium, etc. Ornithophilous flowers have some structural peculiarities. They are generally tubular, cup-shaped or urn-shaped and produce large quantity of nectar. They have bright color, mainly red, yellow, orange and blue, which attract birds from long distance. When birds visit these flowers for nectar, they transfer pollen from one flower to the stigma of other. Next one is malacophily, pollination by snail and slugs. Transfer of pollen grain by snail and slugs is known as malacophily. Land plants like chrysanthemum, leucanthemum and aquatic plant like lamna show malacophily. Sometimes even larger animals such as primates, lemurs, tree-dwelling rodents or reptiles, lizard, have been reported as pollinators in some plant species. So I am repeating, malacophily, pollination by snails, has remained a rare and obscure phenomenon. It has been reported in Voluptuous Nummularium family Convolvulaceae, a prostate ferny season weed which is also visited by honeybee. Flowers open in the morning and last only for a half a day. Honeybee and snail are the pollinators. Snails are exclusive pollinator on rainy day. The plant of Voluptuous are facultative autogamous. Pollination in these plants by snails and honeybee represent an interesting guild which is of adaptive significance in achieving high reproductive success without restoring the obligate selfing. Now I am talking about Ophiophyll in Erisma speciosum, means snake plant or cobra lily. The pollination takes place by snake. This plant appears to be similar to snake and therefore it is visited by snakes. Next one is Myrmecophily. In many plants such as Acacia, citrus, etc., pollination takes place with the help of ants.